I remember asking you, are there more tears or kisses? And you said probably both, and I think you're right. There were a lot of kisses.
They all bring something different to the table. I see myself with each of them.
I was locking lips and streaming tears at the same time, so sorry, I'm unhinged today.
No, I don't trust you. You just confronted all of your exes in one room. Like that's, I've never done that before.
No, did not. That was a first, but I thought it went great.
Hey, boys.
It was an emotional night for you. I want to know, who are you most nervous to see tonight?
Am I allowed to say nobody?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, really no one, but I think I knew like the types of conversations I was going to have. Yeah, a little ready. Okay. I think if anything, maybe more emotions were involved, obviously with Xavier, just because that was the most recent and a very, very, a very hard conversation to leave off on. So I knew like seeing him and having to talk about that was going to be probably a little bit more challenging.
I think about that conversation every day, like sometimes shed tears about it, because it was really tough to like share that part about me and have it go like so horribly. Obviously, I wish my answers reflected the man that I want to be in the future, which is a faithful man to his wife.
Let's talk about Xavier. You know, obviously during hometowns, I felt like you were being reassured that he could be ready maybe to get married. Like hometowns was great.
It was
great.
You guys get a fantastic hometown.
You get to Fiji. He opens up to you about his past infidelity.
Made no sense.
Oh my God.
Made no sense to me. I mean, I said it tonight on the stage. I think that was where my closure I needed, was like why this conversation was not had maybe earlier on. I would have loved that on our one-on-one date. Yeah. That would have been a beautiful time. Obviously at hometowns, like getting that reassurance, like you said, from his family. I asked all those questions. I brought up questions about like past relationships, and I never really, that never came up. So for me, I definitely was what felt like I was being blindsided and caught off guard with the things that was being shared with me. Again, I commend him for like opening up, but again, it was just one of those things that the questions that I was asking following up just was not in alignment with truly a man that I felt was ready to get down on one knee. And
Let me ask you this, what was more shocking? The confession itself, the timing of this confession of infidelity, or the fact that he kind of alluded to that he didn't trust himself if he was put in that position again?
It was the not trusting himself, because I think I was trying to get him to understand, like, do you hear what you're saying?
Right.
Like
your face?
Yeah, I was like, what? My hand motion, I was like, I was losing it. But yeah, no, it's definitely like the fact that I'm like, okay, we're here now. I'm not faulting you for mistakes that you made in the past, but it's like, let's move on. Where are we at in this moment? And the fact that you're here a week away from a proposal and you don't know if you can trust yourself, let's leave. Let's get up.
I'm sorry.
I'm not. This isn't happening today because I thought it was. Let's go. Come on.
Is that why you kind of questioned everything he was saying throughout your relationship? That you even said tonight you felt like it was a tactic maybe to get to a certain place?
Yeah. I mean, I know we hear me say it a lot up until this point with Xavier. You know, I felt like there was reminders of my ex, and I just felt like, you know, like just the, you know, manipulation and things that like you utilize or that has worked on other girls that you may have dated in the past, but I was picking up on those things, and this is one of those moments where it's like, all right, I had the gut feeling, I just didn't really act on it, I think, in that moment. So for me, a lesson learned, but it's okay, you live and you learn.
What was your reaction to him saying tonight that he still maybe has some feelings for you?
I mean, it's fair. I'm sure like he probably does, especially because we went this long without having a conversation and not getting that closure.
Since Fiji.
Correct. Yeah. Like I do wish him the best. I'm glad we did have that conversation tonight. I think he'll utilize all of this for his growth, I hope. So, yeah.
I think about our time together literally every day. So I had to get a therapist because I felt like there was some work that I had to do on myself in order to be ready for somebody that is my forever person.
Who were you most excited to get closure with?
Closure. My God. I think like the connections that I had with like John B, Caleb, Tanner, and Sean. I think a lot of people were like kind of confused with like that whole rose ceremony and like transitioning over to New Orleans. Yeah. So I think John B definitely was a surprise. It was a surprise for me too, but I had to do like obviously what I had to do best. And so I think hearing from him, and he's just an amazing person, and I wish him truly the best.
You definitely had a good group of guys.
Agreed.
You did. You really did. Yeah. But I want to know, was there anyone you wish wasn't here tonight?
No, okay. I don't wish anyone wasn't here. But listen, everybody behaved, so that's you know what? That's what I was coming into, hoping that people would just sit back, sit still, be quiet, and they did that.
It's great having you all back here. It's great having the gang back together.
Moving on to Braden.
Okay.
Watching back this season and seeing the antics that Braden was up to, was there a part of you was like, I should have listened to my brother?
Oh, I did. I absolutely did. Shout out to Nehemiah Lawson. Discernment's on point. Anyway, you just can't always like base things just off of like chemistry, and I said that. So I think seeing all the things behind the scenes, I definitely saw a lot. So
was it hard to watch back?
It was so hard to watch back because I was like, I addressed Braden tonight. I was like, the things that I struggled with was not like you were honest with me, but it's like your tone was totally different with when you relate things to me versus like talking about it in the house. You were really rawed up. So I wish I had that same energy, because otherwise I don't think you would have been here up until that point. As
hard as it is to watch back, I bet part of you was then confident in your final decision.
Absolutely.
Though, right?
So confident.
I feel like I don't want to be here right now. And I don't feel like I'm capable of getting there in this environment.
Let's go, then I'll walk you out.
What can we expect from this finale? More tears.
I mean, truly, you're gonna wet face me and the viewers at home. You will lots of tissues. Yeah, it's gonna be an emotional ride, emotional roller coaster that final week. But I will say, as many tears as I shed, it was 100% all worth it. So it's going to be so beautiful.
Well, now let's talk about this emotional finale. I mean, you did mention to me that you fall in love with multiple men, and here we have 3 literally vying for your love. Let's start with Aaron. What can you tell us about your reaction when he came back for you?
I was shocked. I was literally so shocked. Yeah. Did not expect that. But I think it said a lot, obviously, that he was willing to, like, I guess, essentially not give up. But I mean, not really his choice to not give up, because I had already made my decision of sending him home. But I guess just like hearing his heart and like why he decided to come back, like really stood out to me. And it's like he's a fighter, and he really like cared a lot about me and wanting this. And so, yeah, it's a lot with Aaron.
There's a lot on the line. This is not a drill.
And Dalton, what makes him like the perfect partner?
Yeah, Dalton is just someone that he communicates to me when I'm with him. Literally nothing else is going on. I think we're just so like engulfed with each other, and his conversations is something for me that's like stimulating. It's like I crave more, I want to know more. So I think that's like an important element, is just like the way that we just kind of both can challenge each other, but also contribute to each other's growth, which is a beautiful thing.
And what makes you confident in Joey?
Joey is just so genuine, so sweet, and so sincere. He has this like very calming presence and aura about him. So when I'm with him, again, time stands still, it feels like. But yeah, he's just, everything about him is really good.
I gotta tell you, there's no playbook, right, for doing this, but gosh, I hope people are watching and taking notes, because you just handled yourself with such poise and grace, and you honestly crushed it.
Yeah.
I wanted to thank you for being the Bachelorette, because you showed us nothing but grace and class the entire time. You made all of us better men.
I was like, okay, a lot of these guys are out of her league. Am I allowed to say that? Okay.
You are.